Well, hello there. What's going on, YouTube? How's it going? Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. Cheers. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you're doing well. I really hope that you guys have kind of found your own wings in this crazy crypto market. So this is a video kind of for some new subscribers, guys that maybe just joined the channel that don't really know about some of the basics of trading futures for Bitcoin on Binance. That's the entire video, is trading futures in Binance in 2021. We're actually not going to do any live trading, and we're not going to go over any actually trading, charting basics, or anything along those lines. All we're going to talk about today is how to get into futures, especially if you're a US resident in Binance. What do we got to do, and what does that look like in 2021? The first thing is, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a fiduciary. I don't recommend that you take financial advice from me. I'm only telling you how to utilize Binance and their futures, potentially if you're in the US, what that looks like. If you're in the US and you want to do this at your own risk. You could lose your account. Potentially this is not advised, but this is how you could, if you were in the US, trade on Binance. So if you notice the links in the description, there's two different versions of the Binance sign up. One is the US Binance and one is the international non-US Binance. I actually have both. I have an account in both, and they're different trading platforms because one gives you access to buy and sell futures on crypto assets, and the other actually gives you derivatives, which is futures and options on crypto assets. So the international Binance trading platform can be accessed by United States citizens if they use what we call a VPN. And the VPN I prefer is called PIA, Private Internet Access. And what it basically means is if I was to travel to the United States and I still wanted to trade, I normally live in Baja or outside the United States. But if I do travel to the United States and they try to restrict me from trading, what I can do is log onto my VPN and set my server location to back in my house in Baja or Canada or wherever I want. And what that allows me to do is log back into the Binance international platform and trade futures from anywhere. This is also a really important tool if you're just out at coffee shops doing something that you want to protect yourself from someone keylogging you or seeing your screen. You can use a VPN to protect yourself on open public Wi-Fi's pretty easily, and they're really cheap. I think mine is like $2 a month, so it's not very expensive. I'll put the link for the VPN I use, PIA, but I don't get any spiffs or kickbacks for you using my link. It's just the one I use. I hope it works for you. And again, going back into the Binance setup, if you're going to start trading futures on Binance for the first time this year, you're going to need to use the international platform until the United States regulation changes around Bitcoin to allow derivatives. And so what that basically means is, I know some people, I have a few friends that have been reluctant to jump into the crypto market and the Bitcoin frenzy up until recently. And I think especially with Elon Musk putting 1.5 billion of Tesla's cash reserves, converting it to Bitcoin is a huge, significant indicator of where the institutional money is and where they're headed towards taking positions in these assets. And what that really looks like is for the most part, a lot of people are waiting for the banks to clear the regulation for the institutional holders still. And it's been a long journey. That was the thing that we said way back in the day. Do you guys remember back when I was live streaming often? We talked a lot about time being the one thing we just weren't sure of. Long time duration, possibility of how long it take to appease the regulatory standards for what we need for a new international financial system. And again, if you guys are old school fam and you're XRP people, you might be commenting, are you still into XRP? Are you still long XRP? And yes, I am. I'll make a whole video about that in some future date, tomorrow or whatever. Just comment, I want an XRP video, so I know that there's interest in that, and I'll do a video on that. I still have interest in not only XRP and ADA. ADA just crushed it. If you guys remember, ADA was a huge coin I was super into a long time ago, and it just did so well recently. I thought I should make a video just about that. So a lot of things to cover and talk about, a lot of things to catch up and update ourselves on. But for the most part, I have this video just talking about how to trade futures in Bitcoin and in Binance in 2021 and what that looks like. And I want to give you guys, like some simple ideas too, like looking back at my other old trading videos. I'll go through and make some more live trading videos for you guys, showing you how to utilize the Binance platform. Just simple, being in Binance is really confusing, I know, still for a lot of people. So we can do just like an overview of what those windows look like. And I don't remember if you can still do this, but I remember a moment when they first launched futures, the derivative trading in Binance had a test net, and that was huge. It was super cool because they gave you basically $1 million play dollars to go and test and try your futures trading. The idea of trading futures is really simple. They're basically you reserving the right to buy or sell at a future date. So if Bitcoin's 54,000 right now and you're thinking that's way too expensive, it's overpriced, it's going to go down, you would buy what you call a short, or you're going to sell, expect it to sell off. So when you buy a short and you're going to go into your futures trading window, I usually do this on my phone actually, believe it or not. So oftentimes I'm going to do this from my phone. So yeah, if you just look at you got sell and buy, and you have your position that you're looking at to enter in at, and you're either going to decide I think it's going up for here, so you buy, or it's going to go down from here, so you sell. And what that looks like is you take a position at the current price is 53600, and you'd say I think it's going up from here. You'd buy at 53600, and you just hold perpetually as long as you want, or until you got liquidated, which means that it went the wrong way and you lose all the money you put in. Now you need to make sure when you're starting a trade that you do choose isolated instead of cross when you're trying to start a trade. So you're going to look at the isolated. At the very top left says cross. You want to make sure it says isolated. Basically, you can see up here in the top left, I'm not even logged in. There's just the blank window. If I go to Binance Futures, you can see my leverage right here at 20x. You can see my margin mode. So my margin mode's on cross. I don't want to use cross ever, really, because that means if I lose, it'll start pulling from my main account. It'll start pulling money from my main account. If I keep it on isolated, it means that basically I'm only going to risk what I put in. Make sure it's on isolated here, and then you set your leverage, up on how much leverage you have. Increase basically how much leverage. The higher the leverage, the less room for error. So if you have 100x leverage and it goes $200 the wrong direction, you lose all your money. You get liquidated. So you got to be careful with how much leverage you put into a trade and how short and how long you expect to be able to sit in that trade. And again, the idea is to, if it's at 54 right now and you think it's going to go back to 52, you just hit sell at 54, and that means that you have reserved the right to sell at $54,000 in the future. Hence futures. And what that means is you can hold it as long as you want, and if it keeps going down further and further away from 54,000, you keep making more and more money. The higher the leverage, the more money you make, but it also gives you less room for error. So this is something really simple to consider when you're thinking about what am I really hoping to accomplish? Do I want to do a really short duration trade, catch a short movement and make some quick cash, but also have high risk, possibly lose my cash? Or do I want to take my leverage down to somewhere really kind of safe, low risk, and I have a way bigger buffer to sit for a longer duration of time, expecting for me to really understand maybe where I'm going to be in a few days or a week instead of where the market's going to be in an hour. And again, this video is not about how to read market or how to read charts or how to understand buy and sell orders or how to understand resistance. This is only about how to trade futures in Binance in 2021 for Bitcoin. And you can actually trade futures for other things in Binance like Dogecoin, ADA, XRP, Ethereum, all these things. But for the most part, this is just the same. It's the same applied to all those. And when you change to a new asset, make sure you switch back to isolated margin mode, because the other day I was goofing around and Dogecoin was going up. I switched over to do futures on Dogecoin, and I was like, I don't know what I did, but I basically made a buy at a really high leverage, and I was like, sweet. I think I doubled my money. I had maybe $100 in my Binance Futures app, and I made $150 in 1 minute, and I was like, yes. And so I turned around and then tried to do it again, but this time I fucked up. And normally when I turn around and play another trade, I would take, like, I made $150. I had originally had $100, so I only went and made another trade for $50. But since I went to a new asset, I didn't check and make sure I was in an isolated margin mode. And so when I started to lose money, it not only cost me the $50 I put up, it cost me the entire other $200 in my futures account, because it liquidated everything in my futures account because it was in cross margin mode. So it went so far south that it just liquidated my entire account. So, I had to put more money in there, and that wasn't that great. So be careful doing that. Don't do that, basically. And that's it. That's pretty much all we're going to do. So there's 2 different links in the description for Binance. One's US, one's international. I suggest you get both. There's a link for the PIA, the VPN that I use. And I will, again, judging on your comments and engagement and your interest and interaction, I will make another trading video on Binance. I'm also making another option trading video for stocks on WeBull, and I'm also going to do the advanced trading video. So I want to do another trading video that's more trading strategies in real time, live trading. So let me know what you guys think. Whatever you feel, I'm gonna make more videos. What do you think? What do you think of that? And that's it. Cheers. You're beautiful and amazing, just how you are. Boom, boom. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button and do all those things. And I will see you next time.